guess before we start, we will be actually welcome Professor Ni to deliver a special address titled When East Meets Middle East, a Stronger Future Together, highlighting the transformative potential of cross-cultural collaboration. Please.
Well, thank you, Wei. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful for the opportunity to represent my university at this remarkable forum. Yeah, this actually marks my first visit to the Middle East as the president of the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology in Guangzhou. And I'm truly excited by the meaningful discussions and exchanges I've had this week with my counterparts, professors, business leaders, and students. I see this region as a land of opportunity, a beautiful rose in the desert, offering fantastic prospects for collaboration. China has recently completed a decade of technological revolution, marked by the advancement such as high-speed trains and a cashless society. We are now entering a new era, a decade of educational transformation, especially in higher education. My friends, as a young university founded less than 3 years ago, we are at the forefront of this change, driven by mission-oriented vision. This vision emphasizes cross-disciplinary innovation, global openness, and the promotion of entrepreneurship. We aim to nurture future leaders that can contribute towards knowledge creation and bring true impact to economic and social development. This is partly why I led the delegation to this forum, to forge meaningful connections, especially with business leaders. By working together, we are confident in our ability to achieve our goals and to lead the evolution of higher education. The Chinese and Arab civilizations are among the oldest cultures in the world, and it is a missed opportunity that they have not yet fully collaborated. Imagine the limitless possibilities that could emerge from harnessing bicultural creativity. We find ourselves at the perfect moment and in the ideal location, at the heart of the Great Bay Area, often referred to as the new Silicon Valley of the East, alongside the right people, as we attract top talent from around the globe. We are eager to explore partnerships on our journey toward innovation. Join us in forging a historic partnership between our two great cultures. Experience the Chinese educational experiment firsthand and explore our future-ready campus. I look forward to welcome you to Guangzhou. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize my commitment to fostering two-way exchanges. I will encourage my students, faculty, and fellow Chinese friends to visit this beautiful country as often as possible. We need to build more bridges to achieve such beautiful two-way flows. Finally, I eagerly await the insight from our panelists and speakers. I wish this forum and the ensuing discussions great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ni. And now let's kickstart our panel discussions. Firstly, I would like to invite also Mark and Nancy to also introduce who you are and also your organization briefly. Maybe we start from Mark.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Dr. Mark Poulain. So I'm acting president of Abu Dhabi School of Management. So we're basically a business school offering management leadership programs with a focus on entrepreneurship, innovation, and it's a small business school in Abu Dhabi, founded in 2011. So we have mainly graduate programs, and now we just started undergrad programs, and we'll have also postgraduate programs soon.
Lovely, thank you. And Nancy?
Thank you. Hello, salam alaikum, and ni hao. My name is Nancy Gleason. I'm with NYU Abu Dhabi, and we are a fully self-sustaining university, but part of New York University. We also have NYU Shanghai. So we have this semester, I have 4 students from China in my class. And we have just launched a brand new business school, Stern at NYU Abu Dhabi, the first full master's degree here in the GCC.
Lovely, thank you, Nancy. And before we actually dive too much further, I think we actually should the first question about what are the key skills you think the future business leader needed to navigate in today's difficult world. As we all say, as the panel title is Unveiling the Tomorrow's Mind. So maybe I come back to this question with Professor Ni first, and then we go on.
I just mentioned, our university is rooted from Hong Kong University in Hong Kong. So we start new university in Guangzhou, which about, if you take high-speed train from Hong Kong to where my campus in Guangzhou, 14 minutes. So when we're asked to have a new campus over there, we're thinking, what kind of future leaders we want to train? So as a new university, we focus on 3 things. The first one is a cross-disciplinary training. The second one is how can we train students who are able to come up with new ideas, not just taking notes, just read books. The second thing, we did a lot of work. That makes our students be more creative. The third thing, I think, put a lot of focus on, how can we transfer our knowledge into business? That's 3 things. So we spend a lot of effort. Even we have retrained our faculty. Most of faculty still traditional thinking. So in my university, when the faculty join our university, they take a 1 semester long course to learn new teaching pedagogies, to learn how to train students with the skills, competencies, so they can survive in the future world. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ni. And Mark?
Thank you. Yes, for the training of leaders of tomorrow, we have a special, I think, a place because most of our students, I would say 95%, are working Emirati nationals here. So our focus is being owned by the Chamber of Commerce. We follow very much their missions and where they want to focus on the programs. So the importance for us is definitely identifying the proper programs, what is up to date, what's the needs in the region. So the first program we had was an MBA with a signature learning experience, which was to develop their entrepreneurial skills right away. Then we added 3 more programs. But in these programs, education changed a lot. I've been here now 15 years in the region, and I saw drastic change in education. And with the new changes in the ministry, so the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, put a new framework in place, which is outcome-based. And there's a big focus on industry impact, making your students employable and having the skills, not just the knowledge to be able to perform. So this really changes the way we design our programs, deliver programs. So it's not just about knowledge, information, but it's all the skills related to this. So for us, it's important for them is not just this perspective. We just talk about AI and how AI is going to make it easy to get the knowledge. But now it puts a lot more importance on the culture, the interpersonal. So in the education, we've got to make sure the students have those experiences. So we are doing a lot of learning trips to China, Germany, France, other places with the students, so they experience the cultures, the business, and do a comparison with how things are being done here externally. And so part of this program, they also contribute in some of the initiatives. We have an AI Management Institute for how students integrate AI in their workplace. So it's not about developing AI, but it's about how you deal with the ethics, the change management, the leadership around AI. And same thing with our new management incubator that we launched. It's for management backgrounds. And with the partnerships that we just did today with Hong Kong UST is basically sharing our advancement technologies across borders, across the academic incubators. So for example, we have some students here, they finish with a management background. They want to be entrepreneurial, but they don't necessarily have the ideas, the technology, but they exist within all our partner universities. So how we can match them together, provide a proper platform, and that's a lot what we're focusing on. And with our local community here, with everything that's being developed, it's just an ecosystem that we're putting the players together with the ADGM Academy. Now there's the Young Business Council, there's the Chamber, Hub 71, so all the pieces are there. It's how do you put all these together? So it's definitely a lot of things are moving, and I think it's quite exciting for all the partners in the region.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And Nancy?
Yeah, I agree with Mark on a lot of these aspects. Also, for us at NYU Abu Dhabi, this is about data literacy and data-driven decision-making. Here in Abu Dhabi and in the UAE, we're really focused on sort of 5 pillars of AI-driven decision-making, but also then AI and health, AI and climate, AI and transportation, and AI and energy. So where is the business acumen required to have the resilience and the agility to manage disruptions in all 5 pillars? And I think that's what we've tried to design a program around, because data-driven decision-making is an essential. It's not an option in business today, especially here. So we've tried to build that into our curriculum, into our experiential learning, and into the relationships we have with industry and corporations.
Lovely, thank you. And I will just continue asking Nancy for a further question, because I know you're from NYU, and you actually landed in Abu Dhabi. So I'm sure there is a lot of cross-culture that is happening in your education. So I would just asking the question, so how can education institutions to foster cross-culture understanding and prepare executives to lead diverse teams in the quest for sustainable development and positive social impact?
Yeah, I think this is about being locally relevant. If you're a global campus, you also want to be locally relevant. So NYU has 3 degree-granting campuses, New York, Abu Dhabi, and Shanghai. But then we have 13 global campuses where all of our students are required to choose from, Buenos Aires, Berlin, wherever have you. So it's extremely global. Our students are from, I think, 97 countries right now. So in the classrooms, they're integrating their prior knowledge from different education systems, different business systems, different norms of engagement, distance to authority. And we're helping them not melt those away, but learn to respect them and leverage them. We also, for example, with the MBA we have here in Abu Dhabi, the students in that program spend the summer in New York at our campus there. So they're experiencing the business community in New York City and here in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, trying to set that global context. Also at our undergraduate level, we have a major in business at NYU Shanghai, which we hope then those students will come and do the MBA here in Abu Dhabi. So trying to build those relationships across many different borders. The soft skills of learning to deal with people you might not disagree with is part of teaching critical thinking. Right, holding 2 truths at once that you don't agree with. So we work really hard on that in our community. And it's a fully residential campus. So they're living together as well, eating together, and that part is, makes it inevitable that you're going to find new ways to think about the world.
Okay, great, thank you. And also for Mark, I think that we actually brought this Chinese entrepreneur delegation to Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Abu Dhabi is actually attracting a lot of investors here, and they're mostly executives as well. So I will actually ask a separate question. So what do you think would be the most important skill for doing business in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, we're actually facing this right now. I think we have some faculty that have worked in China, one for 5 years and a few for less than a year. And I think the first thing is we have to have the resources who know the Chinese culture and how it works here. So once we do have that, it's a bit easier to see what's needed. Because if you don't understand their point of view, what's important for them and how they do business, it's very hard to know what are the gaps, what do they need to learn here. And I'm definitely not the expert in there. We have some faculty that are much more expert, and there's a lot of similarities between the culture and the way they approach and the fears that they have. And so we are giving workshops on these companies that come. We've already given a few on how to do business, but not the technical part. Transactional part is not the difficult part. It's mainly how you develop those relationships, and there's perceptions of wasta, which is maybe a bit old, and now it's things are changing or different, and it's how you do it. So we mentioned a lot today about relations. We keep mentioning again relations, and you need to spend time here. So we have a lot of online projects, but it's also taking the students there. So everybody wants to do the online, the technologies. It does its part, but I think the face-to-face relation part is so important to understand people.
Yes.
So I think that part is, again, I'm just repeating what our experience found the same. We surveyed our students after COVID, and about 75% of it, students didn't want online education anymore. They want face-to-face, especially for the grad students that are learning the skills, the soft skills, the critical thinking. So I would say that's the most important right now, is the understanding what's important, the cultures, and how to deal with business people. And we talk about China and UAE, but when you're here, you're dealing with all the nationalities, the 200-some nationalities that are here. And they're all mixed. You won't have just Chinese and UAE. You're going to have a lot of different ones at the same time. Yeah.
Sounds great. And the question, maybe I will pass it to Professor Ni as well. So maybe before our executives moving on there and doing their investment in Abu Dhabi, maybe your school can prepare them for their international expansion. Yes?
Excuse me. Actually, our university is less than 3 years old. I think nurturing our future student with the international experience is very important. So I still remember our school, the grand opening, that's on September 1st, 2022, still under COVID, under quarantine. So as soon as the world is open, I start traveling around the world, making connections to different universities in the world. I think very important it's not just reading books about other countries. I think very important to train our students to respect different cultures, with a real experience to visit different countries. I think in less than 2 years, we have set up, established a connection with many universities. Actually, that's the purpose of my trip to Middle East as well. I'm very pleased, also impressed by my first visit to UAE. Okay, so yesterday I visited UAE University. This morning, I visited Khalifa University, which is very similar to our university in terms of academic settings and so on. So tomorrow I go to NYU, Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I think so far, I think the result have been truly. I do see enthusiasm from UAE University and Khalifa University want to send their students, okay, to come to our university for a semester and so on. And also, we also encourage our students to go study abroad, including coming to this country as well. I think for students with that international experience, we have more opportunities than others. I think that's important for our future leaders.
Thank you, Professor Lee. And I can see there is a lot of cooperation is going on between universities. And now I think we will actually go slightly more into entrepreneurship and innovation together. I understand that the University of the Abu Dhabi Management School, you're actually more on-site, training the executives and how you actually implement the entrepreneurship and also the innovative side too for the students.
Okay. Yes, I just mentioned a little bit earlier, we just launched our Abu Dhabi Management Incubator. And the purpose really is to address our students who are, many of them are executives or starting as managers. And they have some specific needs. Their profile is not the same. If they go to any other incubator or in the region, which might be bigger, it might not serve their needs. They have a big trust. They've been with us for a while. They trust a lot of the faculty. And most of them are in comfortable positions working. And having that little push, that nudge, encouragement to go out in the business world, this is where we can play a role in having that incubator. So we're definitely want to be modest with our incubator. There's some skills, knowledge, but there's a lot of that out there. It's a lot of the encouragement, seeing them having our faculty support them and let them go off and have maybe bigger structures, and the global connections with other institutions that they can connect with other students from America. So that's our role that we initiated. But through all our programs, as we know, it's been at least 10 years now that the government has really encouraged entrepreneurship, and all bachelor degrees have to have at least one course in entrepreneurship. So it's been there for a while, but now, and there's been some incubators in different universities, but now it's really taken another level, which to connect more, create that ecosystem in the region is what we're seeing. Even the collaboration between universities was minor in the region. There's a lot more going on now, but we're still at an early stage. Even as a management school, we're collaborating with Khalifa, Mohammed bin Zayed, UAU, so the faculty are collaborating more. And I think in the startups, it's not just tech and management and leaders, but you need that group. And I think our role is to encourage to see how the managers and leaders can play their role in these startups and the entrepreneurial mind frame. And I think the last point is many of our students are working in the government, semi-government, still want to be there, but want to be more entrepreneurial within their workplace. So that's kind of different needs, I think, for incubator that we try also to support them.
Thank you. Actually, in fact, that we actually visited Hub 71 this morning, and we saw the ecosystem that you guys are creating together, and we actually met some entrepreneurs like locally, and I think they're doing great. They literally international background with educations from, originally from China and educated in American and started a business in the Silicon Valley, and they're doing it in Hub 71 now. And I really agree on this, like creating the ecosystem, and I think it really supports the entrepreneurship. So my next question actually goes to Nancy. From here, would you see there is a shift for like in terms of education? Would it be more oriented for entrepreneurship, or is it still more lecturing and like education parts?
I think it has to be experiential, right? So, there's knowledge to be received, but universities are no longer the sole purveyors of information. Right? We have the internet, and everybody's using ChatGPT. So I think, for example, we've partnered with Golub Capital, which is a very large company here, or has a large presence here in the UAE, to create the Golub Capital Impact Investment Education Fund, where students are actually given money to experiment with impact investing. And it's a nice partnership, pulling industry in. This is the year of community here in the UAE, and I think all of us would like to see more community like that, where our students have real life experiences with organizations that have been able to be very successful here in Abu Dhabi and in the UAE. Partnering with us so that we can bring experiential learning to train people in entrepreneurship. Reading books about entrepreneurship is not the answer, right? So of course we have beautiful classrooms, and we're very fortunate to have that, but getting students out of the classroom into the real world with strong mentorship, even sponsorship, and then letting them do the work before the work is real, right, is what we're aiming for at NYU Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And the same question may I ask Professor Ni as well, like how Hong Kong U is doing something similar for creating entrepreneurship and help them to blend into works.
Yeah, let me share a story with you first. In early days, I would say about 14, 15 years ago, Hong Kong University in Hong Kong, we were able to recruit the top student from mainland China to study in Hong Kong. At that time, after 4 years, they get bachelor degree from Hong Kong University. Most of them went to US, go to Stanford, Berkeley, MIT to get advanced degree. Until one day, a student called Wang Tao, he also graduated from Hong Kong University. He decided not to go to US. He started his own company called DJI. This story changed the mindset of many students. From that point on, many students, after they get degree from Hong Kong University, they want to stay, start their own company. So at that time, actually, I was a provost at Hong Kong University. So we offer many related courses to help them out. So when I have a new campus established in Guangzhou, I have one department called Innovation, Policy, and Entrepreneurship. Okay, this is an academic unit. Now, we also have student club doing entrepreneurship. We help them out. And every year, we have around June time, we have an InnoTech. We invite startup companies before they go to IPO, before they go to public, to show up their startup companies from our students from Hong Kong, from Guangzhou, as well as our alumni. So this will be the third year. So for first 2 years, we select about 100 startup companies. You can show this. This also is education to current students. They look, their alumni, their academic brothers has been very successful in business. So we do, but again, we want to give students different choices. If everybody become entrepreneur, that's also a problem. So they decide either go get an advanced degree, join a big company, or do start. We also provide seed money to those who want to start their own company. We give some seed money as well. I think we want to give students more choices depending on what they really want to do.
Thank you. And maybe for the last question before we close, actually both Nancy and Mark has mentioned about AI and how AI is implementing and shifting the education world. So my final question will be more in a perspective way, looking into the future, like what would you think, how AI will really shift the education and what's in your mind in 5 or 10 years and how would impact the education?
You want me to? Yeah, that's a hard one.
I'll
Mark first.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, I think this is the million-dollar question that everybody's been asked. How do we implement AI? How do we use it in education? I think we've had some meetings with other presidents and provosts of universities in the region about from policy making, how to implement the ethics, the grading, the projects. There's still a lot of debate on the proper way to do it. Definitely in the region, it's clear, and I think internationally that you got to go ahead with it, and you got to equip your students on how to use it. I think most of it we've implemented in all of our courses. Our faculty are trained on how to help students to use AI in the proper way, in an ethical way, but things are changing so quickly. It's definitely a challenge. But for sure, they're going to be the leaders, they're going to be the managers in organizations, so they cannot avoid it. They need to get out there. And within our programs, it's not enough. This is just the start. So we are offering other courses outside our program so they can get supplementary training through the AI Management Institute, and mainly through our program. So we're a management school. So with our collaborations, we've got over 20 MOUs with universities globally, and we try to pool the resources that are more expert in some areas. But for sure, we definitely don't encourage for students to purely just rely on AI. I think from my personal experience, if it's the ones who know the topic and their subject best, that can benefit the most from AI. If you don't know the topic and just rely on AI, you don't know what's coming out, you don't know the thinking process. So this is the challenge, is, you know, it's like back in the day with the calculator. So you want to make sure that they know have the thinking process, and when they are at that level, they can really use AI. But we mentioned, I think a lot of people, it's hard to predict what AI will be. So it's hard as educators to really design a proper way. So for us, the focus on those skills, the ethics, and you're responsible. There's a lot of focus on accountability and reaching out to organizations on KPIs and numbers, and in the end, you can't say AI told me to do this. It's you're accountable for it, and it's a tool for you. So we'll continue to implement it, but we know it's going to change very quickly, and hopefully with our international partners, we can get the best practices as quickly as it comes out. And I know the local entities, especially the chamber, are really pushing and using a lot of AI, which is definitely helping us also to continue in that direction.
Yeah. And because there's the AI actually evolving so quickly, you think you will actually prepare the student for more strategical thinking and innovation, creativity, that side as well?
Yes. Again, if you have that base, and because if you don't have that knowledge, it's hard to be creative if it comes from you. So yes, that's the idea. That's the tool that will allow you to be better thinkers, better visionaries, focus on that versus I would say the more ground manual work.
Great. Anything to add? Nancy?
Yeah, I think, you know, for us, we try to focus on agility and resilience and empathy, not because those are things robots won't have, but because it's what we need to survive this. I try to explain to the students and colleagues and administrators that ChatGPT is not the point. Documenting how you responded to ChatGPT is the point, because we should be anticipating a ChatGPT level disruption every year for the next 10 years. Right? Robotics is about to have its ChatGPT moment, clearly. And we have a Unitree robot at NYU Abu Dhabi. This giant thing is terrifying. So, you know, I don't know why we make them all 6'5". If they could just be a little shorter, it would be less intimidating. But, you know, the 3 courses I teach is the future of work, the future of education, and cyborgs, right? And they're very, very popular with the students, where we're trying to imagine which pieces of the workplace, and even in our private lives, will we need to shift how we understand the way the world works? Pedagogically, this is teaching students how to learn, not what to learn, right? Because knowledge has a very shortened lifespan. But also the nature of expertise is shifting. So you don't go and get an MBA and you're a good business person anymore. You go and you get an MBA or some other degree in order to be able to be agile, manage disruption, and learn new things on the spot. So if we're doing that right, that's the goal. But in the meantime, as you said, we have to train people who were never taught that way to teach it. Yeah. That's the real challenge.
Yeah. Thank you, Nancy. And Professor Ni?
Again, let me begin with the story. I studied computer science, and I began my academic career in early 80s. And then at that time, AI was hot. My major at that time was to design supercomputer. AI was so hot, so I tried to learn from my faculty in AI. And then I took a couple lessons since this is useless. And also, those who study AI at that time, that early 80s, couldn't find a job. So I didn't believe AI until AlphaGo. AlphaGo really gave my eye-opening. Wow, if AlphaGo, AI can do this, this is something. And then in November 2022, OpenAI announced ChatGPT. Many universities prohibit students from using the ChatGPT. Hong Kong USC Guangzhou was the first one in mainland China to officially adopt ChatGPT. But we also provide guidelines about how to use ChatGPT legally. I think this is even in studying computer science, I couldn't believe we can create such a monster, so powerful, but you cannot resist this. I think my university, I claim my university is AI university. Almost every discipline, not only in the technology, in material, in chip design, or even the public policy, they require these AI tools. I still remember, one day my secretary, after using ChatGPT, can say, Professor Ni, I guess I'll be out of job. Her major was PhD in education, working with me. But she learned ChatGPT right away. She said, he'll be out of job. Okay, so I think, again, AI for science, very clear. In many disciplines, AI can benefit. In my university, I put a lot of efforts AI for education. How the AI, the new AI tool, will change the way we train future students. That's important. But look, even professors working in AI area has to catch up what's going on. So just last week, I asked a professor who is willing to offer course about AI to non-IT majors. They learn the important. Second, offer another course called prompt engineering. How to write questions to dig out what this they can provide. Okay, I think this is something you cannot avoid. We have to accept this. And even today, I think about a month ago, in Chinese New Year time, what do? We learn what happened to DeepSeek. What happened to DeepSeek? Yeah. They change. It's not everybody can afford this now. So this is something I think in every discipline, I think we have to catch up. Again, you don't know what will happen next month. Yeah, this is something probably to some of you don't want to see that happen, but that's a fact. You face it. Okay. Again, this is to me, that's the beginning of another revolution.
Thank you very much. And we have like 2 more minutes, maybe just a very short advisor, because we have a lot of first generation of entrepreneurs that are sitting down in the audience. Maybe just a short advice for, because they're preparing their second generation. Maybe just a very short advice for them, for their second generation to close up this section.
Great. I'll go first, so you have time to think. I would say find a mentor, even better, find a sponsor, someone who will walk you through the process. It's not easy to find. Get comfortable with networking. Use LinkedIn or what's ever done in your country. And then find the confidence to manage up, because us old people need younger people to help us navigate this situation. And so my advice would be mentorship is key to your success. And of course, getting a degree from NYU Abu Dhabi would help.
That's a good one. And Mark?
I was going to say, come to our incubator. We'll settle that. Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of ideas. Everybody knows what are the successful parts of an incubator. Probably being, that natural grit and drive is probably the global, always what comes out. And some people are born with it. Some people could have it developed. So through experiences is one thing we can do. But I think those who either are entrepreneurs from China coming here, they already have a start. I think the main important thing is the localization of a lot of these skills. Opening a company here, opening a bank account, doing transfers, all the little basic skills, it's different. It's different. So the localization part is key. I was saying before, the ecosystem, what the Chamber's doing, it will help a lot to support. But a lot of those that have grit and drive, they find a way anyhow. So I think in the region, things are changing very quickly in a positive way. Each emirate, even them, has their own differences. And a lot of entrepreneurs come here in the region set up to network, but the real business is the whole Gulf. It's not just Abu Dhabi, and that's why they come here. It's for the network. So I would say if you're here, the networking is key, both Dubai and Abu Dhabi, very big. And that localization aspect on how to do business is key.
Thank you. Localization, we think that's very important as well. And Professor Ni,
okay.
Very briefly.
Well, give another real story. Remember, one panelist over here earlier, Dalio,
Ray Dalio.
Talk about big cycle. Talk about big cycle, remember? 5 things, the big cycle.
The Kusabi,
yeah.
His Excellency.
Yeah. Okay, yes.
Let me quote what he said, which I fully agree. First, go more global. More global. Doing things together.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's important. I really like this. Yeah, more global, doing things together.
Lovely. Very good advice. Thank you all. It's a great panel. Such an honor to have you.